Hi, this is Sonia with RC Solutions, and welcome to Junk Journal July, which is hosted by Meg Journals in collaboration with Get Messy Art. And if you'd like to participate in the challenge, I'll have a link in the description, which will take you to the website or the YouTube channel, where you can get all the information on how to play along with the collaboration. So I kind of got behind on my prompts because my video editing software was kind of acting up. So I'm combining two different prompts today, which is for the 21st and the 22nd, which are colors and timeless. So I want to try to make like a mini tunnel book. So what I did was I went on ahead because I like to prepare and get things ready before I actually get started. That way my videos aren't like super duper long. I went on ahead and I prepared some stamped images. I stamped different from a variety of different stamps, and I fussy cut them all out. And I decided for my colors that I'm going to go with the color theme of just like black and white and red. And well, I guess kind of like black, white, cream, and red, because I'm going to be using some old book pages from magazines, and my scraps, and then some of my fussy cut images. So first of all, let me just go ahead and prep my pages. And basically what I'm going to do is I have some circle punches, and I've never tried this before as far as like the tunnel books, but I've seen it across YouTube on multiple different channels, but I'm just going to try to do it my own style. I might mess up, I might not, I don't know. But what I'm going to do is I have 3 vintage magazine pages, and I'm just going to run some black paint over top of it, and I'm just going to take my brayer, and I'm just going to, let me move this over here. I'm just going to go over the whole page. Ooh, goodness gracious. What I'll probably do, I should have got my gel plate out. I'll probably, after this dries, I might go over it with some white. That way it's literally black and white. But the good thing about this is, when I'm using acrylic paint too, by the way, when this dries, the page will be thick. And so I'm just go ahead and paint this side as well. And it's okay if the letters show through, the words and letters show through. I just want my colors to show. Did I tear that? Yes, I think I did. Either that or I folded it. Okay, so it got folded over. That's fine. I can put some washi tape on that to make it stay in place. Matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some washi on it, and then I'm going to paint over top of the washi tape. And this way it might kind of hold this in place, all the while giving it texture. So I'm just going to add a little bit of, oh goodness, a little bit of paint on top of that. And you might say, why are you using black? Well, I'm going to come back over it with white, but the black covers up the images better than the white does. And I'm trying to get this done. It's like late at night and I have to work tomorrow, and I waited the last minute to do my prompts. So, yeah. That's my life. I wait the last minute and get stuff done. Okay, so I'm going to peel this up carefully. I'm going to let this dry. I'll probably take the heating tool to it. And I'm going to do all 3 pages like this before we cut it. I'm going to go ahead and add some washi right here so that hopefully that seals it in place. And it makes the page a little bit more sturdy. Add a little bit of black paint. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and do all the pages like this, and if I get any more tears, I'll just add the washi and the paint, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have all 3 of these, and they're dry, both sides with the black. So now I'm just going to add some white, and I'm going to follow that same process. But I'm only going to put like a little bit of white. I'm not going to put a whole lot. And I'm just going to use this small brayer. And I might just do one side instead of both sides. I think I will. Yeah, I think I'll just do one side instead of both sides. Okay, so I have all 3 of them and they're dry. This is a little bit thick, but it's okay. So what I'm going to do, I have 3 different size hole punches. I have a 3-inch, a 2.5-inch, and a 2-inch. And if you don't have those, then depending on the size of the thing that you want to make, you can create your own. Just find some things with some different size circles. Like this circle is approximately, basically 3, well, about 3¼ inches actually. This right here is probably, this is like 2¼ inches. And then this right here is basically like 1.5 inches. But you can create your own shapes. If you don't have one of these, then you can just like draw what you need. Okay, so what I'm going to do to make life simple is I'm just going to go ahead and fold my page in half. Like so. And the page might be a little bit, this is a little bit brittle, but that's okay because this is kind of in the center and I'm going to be cutting that out anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and do each one of these like that. And you want to keep in mind what size you're working with, or what size little book you want to make in relation to what size your paper punch is. Okay, so the goal, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the hole punch, and I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm only going to go halfway in because, you know, 2 halves make a hole. So if I do half of it this way with the page folded in half, it'll automatically cut a hole size 3.5 roughly, because I'm estimating that this is approximately 1/2 inch or 1/2 of 3 inches. But before I do that, I need to first find out, okay, if this is a 1/2 inch, I need my book to come out probably to about right here. So I'm going to add on, this is probably what, 2 inches. So if, what's 1/2 of 3.5? 1.5. So if I'm coming out to about right here at 1.5 inches for the dome, then I need to add another 2 inches. So 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. So I need to cut this down to about 3.5 inches. So I'm going to do each one of these folded up at 3.5 inches, because my pages are still going to be the same size. It's just that my circles within the pages are going to be slightly different sizes for my tunnel, my timeless tunnel. Okay, so what did I say, 3.5? So if you want to, you can go just a little bit bigger, because if you mess up, you can always take more off, but you can't add. So I might do 3 3/4 instead of 3.5. Actually, I might just do 4, and we're just going to see what that looks like. So, yeah, I'm going to do 4 inches. And then I'm going to take off, probably going this way. Does that look, I guess that's straight. Then I'm going to take off about, I'll probably make this 5 3/4 inches. Okay, so this is going to be the size of our little booklet, right? So now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have to, what I'm going to be doing as far as securing this is, since these are thin papers, I'm going to be stapling them together in the middle, like in the seam. So for my first page, I have my 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to put it in the center, and I'm just going to come in roughly halfway. And it's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. Now you can measure yours a little differently if you want to, but this is how I'm doing mine. This is my first page. So when you open it, it looks like that. So it's not a perfect circle, but that's fine. If you want a perfect circle, then maybe you need to go further in. But I'm just going to leave mine like that. All right. So that was the 3 inch. So now we're going to do 2.5 inch. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go in approximately halfway. And I'm trying to keep this centered. Open that up. And then we have that. Okay. What I may do is, for this first one, because I can't really see a whole lot of that second one, I may go in a little bit further to make this a little bit bigger. And see what that does. So as you're making your circles, yeah, that way I can see that better. And then this one, I'm probably not going to go in quite as far. I might not even do halfway. I might just do a little bit less than halfway. And if I need to, I can come back and make it bigger. And notice I have like black, white, black. You see what I mean? We have our contrasting colors, and then we can see our tunnel. All right, so now we have that, and I'm satisfied with it. So we're going to be decorating it, but before we decorate it, I want to staple these together. But before I do that too, I'm going to distress my edges. I'm probably just going to only distress on the sides that have the white, because it's going to be like a booklet. So when I open it, you know, it's going to flip or whatever. So I'll do it like that. Okay, so now before I staple these, I'm going to reinforce these, because see how it's kind of weak right here? So I'm just going to take just some random papers, and I'm going to glue. Let's see, where's my glue? I don't even think I'm going to, I'm not even going to distress this part of it. I might if I, when I fold it over. But yeah, I guess, yeah, I'll distress it that way. It kind of blends in. I'm just going to put something on here. I think I'll just take part of this calendar, Now, I might distress that, so yeah, I will. And then I'm just going to basically reinforce these by adding on some like torn papers and scraps and things like that. But it's all going to be in the same color scheme. And what I could do is I might take some of this leftover, like the pieces that were cut out from the circles from the other papers. I'm probably just going to glue some of it onto the other side just to give it that contrasting color. Okay, so I've got them all reinforced by adding on those extra bits and bobs. And so now we're just going to line these up before I staple it. And the widest one goes on top, and then it follows suit afterwards. So I'm just going to clip these together the same way I do whenever I'm doing my journals. Now, you don't have to staple. You can actually sew. You can connect it like through like taping it together side to side, which could also help reinforce it, which I could have did that anyway. Instead of just only putting glue and paper here, I could have just actually glued this to that, but it's fine. All right, so we want the staples to show on the outside. Oh, look at this. It's not long enough. I'm going to have to get creative, and I'm going to have to bend this a little bit so that my staple gun can fit on the crease right here. And let's just hope I can see to get it lined up on the crease straight. Only me. I did it backwards. Yeah, I did it backwards. Let me take that out. I meant for it to go the other way. I had it the right way the first time, but for some reason I second guessed myself. Oh, you know what I did? Only me. Only me. Yeah, I did it wrong. So basically, let me take these staples out. I didn't think it through too well. So this whole thing is going to be the book. So what I'm going to do, since it's already still stapled together, is I'm going to have to make it smaller so it can fit in my journal. I'm just going to take about 1 inch off. Or, yeah, about 1 inch off. Or 3/4 of an inch, something like that. All right, that way it's a little bit smaller and can fit in the journal. Let's just look and see what we got going on. Yeah, we can make it go here. All right, so it's actually going to go this direction instead of this direction, and I'm totally cool with that. So what I'm going to do, don't staple it in the middle. Don't do what I just did. Take your staples out, and I'm going to take my staples out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I took my staples out, and there's different ways you can do this. You can, I'm just going to, let's see, this is pretty thick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these. You can score it, or you can just fold some paper in half and create your hinge. And I'm just going to glue mine together. My pages are going to be glued together. That's what I'm going to do. So, since this matches anyway, so, all right. At least part of it's reinforced. So I'm just going to add some glue. Going up and down this. I'm just going to lay that on there. I'm going to cut this down, this excess material. So that's one hinge. Where is it? Oh yeah, right here. I'm going to fold this over and score it, or kind of score it. I'm going to ink it. That way I can kind of see to add it to the next page. And I'm going to leave like a little space, like 1/8 of an inch. That way when I connect this next page, make sure, okay, this is the dark one, this is the light one, and I'm going to glue it on here. And you can see I left like a little bit of space. That way you can, this can fold over. And yeah, I was going to say you could make it into a zine, or what do you call it? An accordion, but I'm not going to do that. Because we could just add another one on this one, and this going like, and this one going like this, but no. Because I want that black to show through here, so it's just going to be like a regular. I'm going to connect it like this. So let me get another piece of scrap. And I'm just going to fold this in half. And like I said, you can score it if you like, but I'm just folding this in half because to me it's a whole lot easier. We're just going to add some glue. And then we're just going to attach it. And then we're just going to cut that excess off. I'm going to fold this over and distress it. And we're going to add our glue. All right, so now for the really fun part, it's time to get ready to start decorating. So we got to figure out, what do we want on the front? What do we want on the front and what do we want at the back? Okay, so I finally finished it. So we have our day 21 colors and day 22 timeless. And I can go ahead and check that off. So colors and timeless. So let me just show you a close-up. And basically all I did is for this to be black, white, red, and cream, I just glued on some ephemera just to make like a little small layout. And then here's our cover of our tunnel book. And then the doors open up. And then you see this woman. And here's a cigar. And then you open up the page. I'm just going to close the door back so that it doesn't, that way it stays flat. And then you have your second page, and then I just added some ephemera just to kind of make the back side blend in from where the house was. And then I added some of those leftover scraps from the circle punches to go around there. And then I just glued on scraps and leftover pieces from this actual paint, the papers that had the paint on it. And then I just glued on some different ephemera. And then we come on to our last page. And you see some more ephemera. And then the final, there's the lady. So I like how it turned out. It's my first time doing a little tunnel book. But it's kind of like timeless, because time is kind of like into infinity, and it just keeps going and going and going and going, kind of like a tunnel. So that's what the tunnel represents, is timelessness. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos, blog, and social media sites. And if you want to participate in the challenge, I'll have the link down in the description. And I thank you guys so much, and this has been really, really fun. So happy crafting.